Hey everyone, welcome to the SCP-Paderborn English podcast. It's a new week, which means a new episode, and yeah, we're back to regular program schedule this week because there hasn't been any breaking news for a new player incoming. So we'll get back to what we usually do and what I was planning to do when I began to do this again. We'll discuss the previous match in the first part of the discussion, and then in the second half, we'll get to the next game and quickly move on because that is it's a week to week league at the moment with all the games going on each weekend. But just before I begin, there has been some news this morning, which it's not like Paderborn to announce something before I actually record the podcast. It's usually afterwards, so it's good that I've been able to let everyone know about this. But you've probably seen that Cohen Costons has moved on loan back to his home country in Belgium, and it's a loan until the end of the season without a buy option. So yeah, I expect to see Cohen back in the summer. You know, the next training camp after the season ends. He's still got a contract till 2027, so there's still 2 years left. So yeah, obviously wish him the best. He was an unused sub in the last two games, so obviously I can kind of see why he's just not happy with his playing time, and hopefully he'll be starting every game for the new club that he's joined, which I'm not going to try and pronounce. But yeah, obviously wish him the best, and hope he scores a lot of goals and gets a lot of confidence back, which has obviously been an issue for him. Just not been scoring, regularly. He's had a few great moments, but hasn't been able to consistently get the goals in the back of the net, and obviously now is kind of out of favour. So made sense for him, and maybe made sense for the club. We'll have to see what happens if there's another maybe striker that comes in, to kind of replace him or something like that, or if generally just some from the under 21s comes up. We'll have to see, but yeah, that's the kind of big news to start the podcast. But before I discuss the previous match, if you enjoy the podcast, please consider rate, review, subscribing, sharing as well. But yeah, let's get into it then. How good does it feel to be able to react to a game which we've won for the first time in 5 games? Yeah, so Paderborn were victors over in Darmstadt on Sunday, 1-0. Very, very tough game, as I expected it was going to be. And as I said in the preview podcast, it's going to be a very tough match, and it ended up being that way. But let's kind of roll it back first and sort of talk about the absences which we had. So the list of injuries has kind of fallen. We only had only had 4 absences for this game. Luis Engels is still out with the knee injury. We'll have to see what happens with him. Adriano Grimaldi with the thigh problem as well. He was unavailable too. Sebastian Klaas with the abductor problem still out. Probably. I think pretty much definitely he's not going to play this weekend either. And then Calvin Brackelman did concussion, which he got in Spain. He's back on the field now, training. So yeah, we'll have to see. But we'll kind of get to the problems in the second half of the podcast. So the starting 11 was actually kind of a surprise. Lucas Kozniak chose to drop Santiago Castaneda. He just wasn't happy with his performance in the first half of the game against Hertha. And he kind of played with what he did at halftime in the Hertha game, which the second half was much better against the Berliners, and he kind of stuck with that. We didn't play a traditional 6 for the first 59 minutes, and you were probably thinking, wow, we must have been like a end-to-end game, and a shot here for them, a shot here for us. It wasn't like that actually, which I was kind of surprised about. I was expecting it to be a very open match with with the way we were kind of lining up. But we went with obviously Manu Riemann in goal, who had made his debut. We'll definitely discuss him in a bit. Scheller Götze, Hoffmeier made a start. Obermeier, Melin, Bilbia, Aranzenta, Tejo, Plata, Michel. So that was the 11. So Sven coming in. Obviously Hoffmeier, as I mentioned. Götze back, which was huge as well. And then on the bench, we had Schubert Kerder, Herman, Costons, Anza Castaneda, Musliu, and Mattis Hansen as well. So that was, the bench. I guess we'll begin with kind of an overview of the game, and then we'll kind of get into the small details of it. So, really, in the first half, were poor. They had 3 shots in the first half. 0.12 expected goals. They had more possession than us. They had 58% in the first half to our 42%, but we had 7 corners to their 1 to their 1 corner. So we were really good. I thought we were really good out of possession. You wouldn't have kind of expected it with the attacking lineup that we had, but it worked really well. The balance was really good in the first half, especially. And in the second half, we just had to kind of sit back and defend. They had 69% possession, 10 shots, 5 on target, but even with all the chances, they didn't really create good opportunities because 0.5 expected goals in total for them in the second half. So in the whole game, just shy of 0.7 expected goals for so they didn't even muster up enough. I guess you could say enough to deserve a draw, whereas we did. So yeah, that was kind of the main overview of the game in total. But then we'll get into the specific situations that I want to discuss. The first few minutes of the game, we score early again. Bilbia again scoring early, but it was ruled out. Different to the last week. It was a good header from Hofmar from a corner, I think it was, which it bounced to Bilbia, and to be honest, the stream I was watching, I couldn't see if it was handball, but there didn't seem to be much appeal. Like in the end, I think it probably was handball. So yeah, that goal was ruled out. It was interesting. We had quite a lot of yellow cards in the first half. Casper Tail got his first yellow card on 8 minutes. We scored again on 13 with Sven, but it was ruled out because the referee's whistle. He'd already blew his whistle before the ball was in the net, so it couldn't even be checked. So that was unfortunate again. 14 to 23, I wrote down that we had a bunch of corners in this period of the game. We were actually pretty good in this period, I think. But again, because kind of nothing came from them until, but we'll get to that. That 25th minute, Felix Greuther got his yellow card, which was unfortunate because it was his 5th yellow card of the season. So that's 1 match ban, so he's unavailable for the third game. On 31 minutes, wrote down the best chance of the game so far. I think it was Sven who had a really good chance, and yeah, just whistled wide. I think it was a good effort, but yeah. 35 minutes, Felix Platter got a yellow card, and then the first goal came, and the first and only goal of the game. 37 minutes. Finally, we scored a goal from a corner. It was actually really good. It was long. It was. I think it was. It was over there with the corner from the far side. Deep ball in. Melim kept it in, pulled it back, and yeah, Platter was there, and he does what he does. Scores. Really nice finish. Striker's instincts and all that. Found the net. Got it past Schuhen, and yeah, first assist as well for Marvin Melim. First of many, hopefully, in the second half of the season. Really good goal, and vibes were good at that point. And then 3 minutes after, literally his next action on the pitch, Felix Platter was forced off on the stretcher. Had a duel with Vukovic, and yeah, just kind of fell on his back and just kind of was in so much pain, and yeah, there's not much we could say. Just so unfortunate because we were talking so much about him, in the winter break as being this new signing for us and scoring all these goals. He finally gets his first goal, and then the next action he's off the pitch, and yeah, it's really unfortunate. And we kind of don't know much right now. He was in the Darmstadt hospital till Wednesday, which, considering the game was on Sunday, he was there for a few days, and they were doing a lot of tests on him, and we don't really have a good idea of what the diagnosis is at the moment. But look, if there's anything with Felix Platter, we know it's probably going to be a long-term injury, and it's just tough. It's just really hard to swallow for him personally. And they say the only thing that stopped Felix Platter from being a consistent Bundesliga striker was the injuries and kind of matches. It's just really, really frustrating for him, for us as well. Finally thinking we're gonna have our 8-9 goal striker in the second half of the season. But yeah, fingers crossed and all the best to him. It's one of those. What can you do? So Ilias Anza was on for him, and we should have actually scored just before half time again. Rafael Obme with a really good free kick, good save from Schuhen to be fair, but he kind of parried onto Bilbia, but he saved the rebound as well. So yeah, it should have been 2-0 just before half time, but it was two good saves from the Darmstadt keeper, and that was the first half. Second half, I didn't write much down. We just defended really well. The substitutions I thought was absolutely spot on. The first note I wrote down was the first sub for us, which was on 59 minutes, Castaneda for Tejo, which, just quick one on Tejo, he got a 4.5 from Kicker, the sort of rating, again, for the second game. I'm not worried about Casper Tejo. I remember I will say it reminds me of Chris Fury because he's not shown me any, nearly as much as Fury showed in all of his moments, but it kind of feels so far that a similar thing. A lot of people wanted Fury benched after a kind of mess start to his Paderborn career. He was, seen as doing too much and dribbling too much and trying to do too much. But at the end of the day, when it started to click, it really did start to click. And I feel the same with Casper Tejo a little bit. Sure, maybe he's doing a bit too much and he's trying to dribble too much, but that's what I think that's what he's been brought in to do. I think he's been brought in to be that sort of dribbler we don't really have. That attacking dribbler. I mean, Bilbao's kind of sort of that, but he doesn't do that much. But yeah, it's going to click, and I'm not worried about it. I think you've got to keep trying with him. And look, yeah, 4.5 ratings is not good, but he doesn't speak the language. He's just joined Germany. We've got to give him some time as well. And yeah, I'm not worried about Casper at all. So yeah, the sub finally brought on a traditional number 6 in Santiago Castaneda, and then I didn't write any notes down to the next subs because we really were doing all right. They didn't have like huge chances that thought, oh, they had to score that, or great save man sort of thing. It wasn't like that at all. They were very kind of not high, chances. That they were not high percentage chances is what I meant to say there. So yeah, the next subs were on 73 minutes. Again, just showing up the defense. Musliu came on for Felix Goetze, and then Mattis Hansen for Sven Mikkel, who just I think I can't remember if he got a yellow for time wasting, taking too long to walk off the pitch. I can't remember exactly, but he did get a yellow. Did Sven? And then kind of the chances to the last 15 minutes. Obviously, you are going to get them. I'm absolutely flying at you, and there were a few chances that I wrote down actually. First one was on 76 minutes. Luca Marcella, the former Paderborn player, looked for Fraser Hornby. He was on the back post, but it was a good block. That could have definitely been a goal if it got to him. 85th minute, good yellow card for Marcel Hofmeier. Very tactical foul. You'll remember the phase if you kind of remember it back. Castaneda made a bad foul as well, but he didn't get a yellow card, which was lucky because he was on a 5th as well. So Marcel Hofmeier got the yellow card for the time wasting tactical foul. They were on a counter attack with Darmstadt, and it was a good foul to take for Hofmeier, so that was good. And then just a few chances to end the game. Corridor had a good, I say good effort, but it was kind of straight at Riemann on 89 minutes. Obviously, Corridor, their main attacking threat, as I mentioned in the preview, because they didn't have Lidberg. I thought we did really good against him in general. And then last chance was on the 94th minute, which I thought they were going to score on this. It was a good save from Riemann first, but he kind of coughed up the football, and it kind of nearly fell to Hornby, but he just grabbed it at the end, and we just about got out of Darmstadt with 3 points. So that's pretty much the review. A really professional performance. I thought the subs were spot on, as I mentioned. I thought, I was kind of a bit nervous about the team lineup because of how attacking it was, but look, it worked, and the balance was perfect. And we went to a team in Darmstadt who, look, were kind of struggling like us, but at the end of the day, with Florian Kerfeld, they were top of the table in the form table since Kerfeld has joined. They've scored 36 goals in, his 13, 14 games, and they didn't even have the last chance was probably their best chance of the game, and that was mainly because Riemann coughed up the football. So I think we can be really positive about that. it was a different game to Hertha because against Hertha we had more chances, but we just didn't take them. But I thought when we needed to, we really defended well, and it was a great team win. And that's probably the kind of word I'd use, the phrase I'd use for this game, and kind of sum it up in 2 words. It's team win. Everyone really, really played well, and everyone kind of got each other's back on and stuff. Yeah, and I thought it was a great first game for Manu Riemann as well. I should mention him. I thought it was really good in everything kind of the goalkeeper has to do. He was assertive. He showed his experience. When he went up for the sort of high claim, for the high crosses, you just didn't feel any kind of nerves about it. You just knew he was going to get the ball and kind of grasp it. And I thought kind of I'm not going to say time wasting, but diving on the ball, those sort of little things where that's what wins you the game. These little things adding up all add up to the 3 points. And yeah, I thought it was great, and I thought his distribution was also really good. Kicking it long, kicking it short, throwing it long. There was one moment actually in the last 10 minutes where he threw it long. I think it was to Zenta, and it just didn't work, and Kozniak wasn't happy. And that was the one kind of moment that I remember, which I was like, just roll it to the defender. Don't throw it 30, 40 yards out like that. In that moment when we're not needing a goal sort of thing. But that was the only thing, and yeah, I'm really, really positive about it. And look, first game, first clean sheet for us in many, many weeks, so have to be very positive about that. And yeah, very happy for him. Obviously his first game's for a year now, and he kind of played like he just played last week. So yeah, very happy with him. That will do it for that review then. So yeah, Paderborn win and finally get 3 points. Feels like it's been ages. First win of 2025, but I say 2026, 2025. Up on 31 points now. 8th win of the season. Yeah, 3 points off Hamburg in first position. And with this league, you have to move on to next week. So I'll have a little break now, and I'll get on to the preview of the next game against Greuther Fürth. Okay, welcome back to the SC Paderborn Knows Even English podcast. Part 2 of the podcast, and the discussion today is the next game against Greuther Fürth in the SVD Bundesliga. What, match day 20 now? We're getting awfully close to the end of the season. It doesn't feel like that now, but in a few games' time, we'll be saying it's the last 10 games of the season. Then the last handful, last 5. But these games are not ones that you'll, we're kind of looking at the table now, but it's not one where you look at the table, and say, huge, look at the permutations and all that, because we're still months away from that. But these are the games where you kind of think, if you look back at the end of the season and you're a point or 2 points away from promotion, and you look back and you think, could we have just beaten Fürth at home, for example, or something like that. And look, they're in a relegation battle right now, Greuther Fürth. 15th in the table, 20 points. They've lost the last 3 games. And remember, they're only in the Bundesliga a few years ago. So, it's kind of been a poor few years for Greuther Fürth, and obviously they've had a lot of change of coach since then as well. But yeah, Sunday afternoon again for Paderborn. Feels like we're just playing Sunday every week at the moment. But yeah, Sunday the 2nd of Feb, 13:30 kickoff local time in Paderborn. 12:30 if you're in the UK like me, or 7:30 if you're on the East Coast. 4:30 if you're on the West Coast of America. So do join us for that. I'm very, very sure this game will not be on any international channels. I'm guessing Hamburg Hanover will be, and maybe Magdeburg Schalke probably will be the 2 games this week on the international feeds. But yeah, we'll just have a quick word on Fürth's coach, because it's he's relatively new actually. Jan Stewart, who was a former Dortmund 2 coach, former Huddersfield in the UK. Pretty sure he's former Bochum under 19s as well. Former Mainz too. He's a 42-year-old. He replaced Alexander Zorniger on November the 12th, which was before match day 13. Zorniger's season was 2 wins, 4 draws, 3 losses. One of those draws was the 1-1 against Paderborn earlier in the year, in the season. Suet so far had 2 decent-ish wins, I guess you could say, against Hanover and Hertha, but 1 draw and 4 losses has been his other results. Including the last 3 games have been all losses, by the way. Against Hamburg, Preußen Munster, and Kaiserslautern. Usually sets up in a 5-3-2 does Suet, but changed to a 4-2-3-1 against Kaiserslautern. We'll have to see if that stays the same against us, if he goes 4 or 5 at the back. I'm guessing he'll go 5 at the back, but that would be percentages of kind of guessing there. They've won 2 away games all year. The last one was match day 10 against Schalke, which was a 3-4 victory, actually. They had an interim head coach at that point, Leonard Haas. Suet himself has one away point. Sorry if I said that too quickly. Which was at Ulm. He's had 3 away games so far, 1 draw, 2 losses. Some good players. Actually, have some good players that they had, in the Bundesliga. Renomeo Gotthard's got 7 goals / assists. Julian Green got the best FOTMOB rating, most shots per game. He's got 5 goals to his name as well. Noah Futsqueo is also really good. He's got 7 goals this season so far. He's got the most expected goals, most goals per 90. He scores a goal a game, sort of ish. And there's also ex-Paderborner Dennis Stebeni as well, who kind of always seems to score against us. I don't actually know his specific record and kind of goals against us, but he always seems to score against us. Does Dennis, and he's annoying sometimes against us. Some team rankings, they are very, very, very poor and mid-table in pretty much every category except, they're either bad or very bad. They're not very good in anything. For example, 13th in goals per match. They score 1.4 goals a game. They're second worst in goals conceded per match. They concede 2.1 per game. Only second, only better than John Regensburg. 14th in average possession, 46.6%. 13th in clean sheets. Could keep going here. 16th in shots on target per match, 3.8. 12th in big chances, 41. The only kind of stat that I can see that they're kind of up there in is penalties awarded. They've been awarded 4 penalties, which is 4th in the league. 14th in corners, 85. But defensively, they've got the most XG conceded, even more than Jan Regensburg, 36 XG conceded the whole season. I just can't see any statistic that they're good at. They've had 3 red cards over the whole season, which is 5th most in the league as well. But the one thing that Fürth have against us is they always beat us. They always seem to beat us anyway. At the head-to-head rankings, they've got 11 wins against us versus us. We've only got 2 wins against them. Our last win was April 2023, the 3-2 victory against Fürth. We obviously had the 6-0 in the 2019-2020 2018-2019 promotion season, which was obviously but yeah, our 2 wins have come at home against them. We've never beaten them away from home, so hopefully we can do that again. There's not much more to preview about Fürth, to be honest. It's one of those games where, look, you're at home against a team who are really not good at anything, which means we're going to lose now. No, it should be a win, this one. These are the games where you start to look now, and you start to look at the schedule and say, right, you've got some really tough home games this season. You've got to win these ones, right? Or if you don't, then the pressure kind of mounts onto the home games against the Hamburgs, the Kölns, the Düsseldorfs. We play all those home teams, all those teams at home the rest of the way. I can kind of read through the fixtures for you. and it doesn't look good. Even the next home game after Fürth is Munster. Come on, that's going to be a really hard game. Obviously, look, Hamburg, Kaiserslautern. I'm reading through the list right now. Köln, Dusseldorf, Elversberg, which no pushover there. Magdeburg, who are an incredible away team this season. So you look through that list and you probably say Fürth is the one you've got to win out of all of them, the most sort of thing. But we'll have to see. There's a lot of pressure on this game. I know it doesn't feel like it, but right now it doesn't feel like it. But these are the games you've got to start to stack up points on if you want to be a promotion fight. You've got to win these games. That's pretty simple to me. And I think when you look at the next three games in kind of a group now, you've just beaten Darmstadt 1-0. Great, that's 3 points on the board. You've got Fürth at home, you've got Ulm away, then you've got Munster at home. 7 points min, I think, from those three games. Like if you can beat Fürth and Ulm, you've got 3 wins in a row there, 9 points. You're probably going to draw against Munster. Maybe you draw or a win against them. You expect a really tough game, obviously, with the derby there. And they're kind of starting to grab form now. They just drew at Hanover. They scored 2 goals against Hanover. Really good defensive side. They're unbeaten in 4 now. We'll have to see how they do against Kaiserslautern and stuff. But yeah, that's going to be a tough game. So the next 2, I'd say, you've at least got to win this first one. Let's focus on first. You've at least got to win this one first, in my opinion, because I think a lot of the promotion sides who are playing at home in the second half of the season will beat them, and these are the games where okay, you play Hamburg, you play Köln, you play Kaiserslautern, Magdeburg, all these teams, and you're not going to win all of those, and you might not win 50% of those games, but look, you've got to stack the points where you can get them, and these are the games where you've got to win, in my opinion. So yeah, you're without Greuther, tough, but you've got to step up. The replacement's got to step up, and we've got to win this game. I'd confidently say that. This kind of the second half of the first half of the season when we drew it home to Braunschweig, for example. Obviously lost at home to Schalke, who were in that moment in a really bad position. Obviously losing at home as well to Karlsruhe. Look, we've not won in we've lost last we've lost the last 3 home games, so gotta win. That's kind of my preview. I've told you why we've got to win. They're bad at everything pretty much, and we're a good side. We're a good team, as we showed last week against Darmstadt. So, and we've shown against Köln, Dusseldorf, unfortunately unlucky 1-1. We should have won that game. Showed against Hamburg, good 2-2 draw there. All these games, Köln, did I say Köln, the 2-1 win? Yeah, we've shown we're good enough, and we should be winning these games. And look, Fürth have lost 3 in a row. They're going to want to win as well. Let's not put it, let's not get it twisted there. They're going to be kind of out to win as well, and they're going to want a response. Jan Suert's going to want a response from his team. Might be kind of under a little bit of pressure himself. Alexander Zorniger lost 2 games in however many, like 12, 13, and the new manager's lost 4 in 6. 4 and 7, yeah. So yeah, not much else from me. I think just got to win this game and move on to the next, and move on to the away game in Ulm. But yeah. Put it this way, if we don't win this game, obviously context is dependent and stuff. I'll feel really, really disappointed with us. But let's see. Let's see how we do. That'll do it today. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope this format kind of is good for you. If not, let me know. Let me know what you'd improve. But I hope this format's helpful. Just kind of discussing the previous game without any emotions to it, because I've had days to think and prepare. And then looking ahead to the next game, I think it works really well. Lucas Kozak will be doing his press conference on Friday, which is tomorrow from when I'm recording. So we'll have to see what he says. Keep up to date on at SCPaderbornEN on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the rest. But yeah, have a good day, everyone, and let's hopefully win at the weekend, and I can come back here this time next week and say how good we were, and hopefully vying for 3 wins in a row. Let's see what happens against Fürth. But yeah, thanks you all for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe, share the podcast if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next week, unless there's any emergency podcast which has to be done this week. But I doubt so. I doubt that is the case. But yeah, thanks all. Cheers, and speak soon.